you know Hollywood is manipulating you and they are laughing at you. And nowhere is that more obvious than with the new Harry Potter series. And what's worse is they don't even realize they are sowing the seeds of their own demise. They are whistling past the graveyard. Now, we recently got the new trailer for the new Harry Potter series on HBO, and I normally stay out of stuff like this. There has been a lot of controversy about the race swap of Snape in this story, but that's only the tip of the iceberg. But it was at least that made other parts of Hollywood, like Saturday Night Live, set up and notice. And inadvertently, they hit on something that I don't even think they paid attention to. Something that swapping the race of this particular character does to this story to not only manipulate the outcome of the audience and how the series is perceived, but to change the whole essence of the story and divide people on a story that has been universally loved. So Saturday Night Live did this skit, and it is funny, but it is actually accurate.
We got this new kid, his name Harry Potter, and he's racist as hell. Spent the whole year telling everybody that the school's only black teacher was secretly evil. So somebody stole something, and the number one suspect is Black Snape.
So that is part of the problem, is when you take this particular character of Snape, as they're making fun of here, and you make him a black character, you change the whole connotations of what his character is, what the whole conflict between Harry and Snape, and what the conflict between Harry's father and Snape was. Now you turn it into a racially charged element that was never present in the books. And in this case, Snape's whole identity was pretty laid out in what he looked like. His pale, sallow complexion, skinny, stringy hair, greasy hair, all of those things were completely laid out. So this was done deliberately to essentially make you divided, to manipulate you into saying, well, I need to say this is good, otherwise I might be canceled. And I might be labeled as this, or this if I say that this series isn't good. But when you take it and you make Snape now a different color, you make him a black character, then everything becomes very dark and twisted and divisive. And so you're being manipulated the whole time, because now the stuff Harry does to his problems with Snape take on a whole other level of problematic issues. And then certainly Harry's parent, or his father and his father's friends, bullying Snape takes on a whole different connotation to it. And suddenly you take this story that is universally loved, and now it is 100% divisive. If you look on YouTube, this new trailer is close to being ratioed. It almost has more dislikes than likes. So out of about 1 million or 500,000 likes or dislikes, it's split 50-50. Now, if you contrast that with even old classic trailers to Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, or Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the original classic trailer on here that have all of these views, millions of views, those were basically 100,000 likes almost to every single solitary dislike. So you had 100,000 people that liked it, just about to every one person that disliked it. Now it's 50-50. And because the dislikes show up as only an estimation of the total, it is usually much lower. So this is probably more like 60% dislikes. And this is why I say that Hollywood is manipulating you, because they're trying to divide you and they think it's funny, and they've profited off of it for a while now. One-sided storylines, one-sided messaging, one-sided this, one-sided that, but that's sort of coming to an end with Project Hail Mary and Super Mario. These things that are decidedly agenda-free and old-school storytelling. These movies are just soaring out of the atmosphere and making tons of money because these are the type of movies people want to see. The movies like we watched in the 80s, the 90s, things that are entertainment. They feel good. They have real heroes, people who are flawed, but you can cheer for. And they leave all that other stuff at the door. And here you have Harry Potter. Now, this is a chance to unify people across all walks of life, across all types of fandoms, across race, religion, sexuality, all of that. These have always been unifying films, things that people loved and agreed on. You could see every 100,000 people liked it, only one dislike. Now it's 60-40. 50-50 at best. They have taken something that was universally loved and purposely made it divisive to manipulate you and to divide people further. And that is the opposite of what movies are supposed to do. These are supposed to be common ground. I've had some people say, "Oh, I want movies to challenge me," and things like that. And I get it. Movies can be used for that. They can challenge you. But when everything is one message, when it's one-sided challenge, that's no longer a challenge. That's not challenging you. That is controlling a narrative to manipulate people for gain, for agenda purposes, for whatever it is. It's a controlled narrative. There is no balancing act. There is no back and forth. It's one side, and if you don't agree with it, just like in this situation, if you don't agree with it, you will be labeled, canceled, thrown out. You're an incel. You're a bigot. You're a this. You're a that. You will be thrown out. Okay, despite the fact that there's probably, judging by the likes and dislikes, there's more people that agree that this is inappropriate, that this isn't good, this isn't what they want, than the people who are pushing it. Doesn't matter. They'll label all of them because they believe they are right, to the detriment of themselves. And that's where they're sowing the seeds of their own demise. Because for years, Hollywood has been going higher and higher budgets, pushing these things, and they're losing money. And then you get movies that come out like this, like Hail Mary, Project Hail Mary, Mario, that leave that stuff behind, and they just make tons of money. And this is going to cause the sort of death rattle of Hollywood and this style of filmmaking to like scream louder right now. So you have one battle after another absolutely flopped in the box office because it was a propaganda piece, a one-sided push, a one-sided narrative. And it's okay to have narratives in movies. They've always been there in some movies, one way or the other. But the difference is you used to be able to entertain yourself and watch a movie on different levels. Now, if you were going to see something like Schindler's List, you knew the heavy gravitas of the story you were going into. All those kind of things. Those were there. Those were different sorts of movies, but you knew what you were getting into. Nowadays, they'll pop it up into something where it doesn't belong. A kid's movie, anything. It's constantly there. And that's why one battle after another. That's why The Bride. That's why movies like that are absolutely failing and losing hundreds of millions of dollars. But it's also why they get recognized and patted on the backs at award shows, because those are the same people who are behind pushing that. So it's just kind of this thing where you're being manipulated and told, oh, this is what's really good and this is what people want. But the visual of your eyes and your ears and your brain and common sense and pragmaticism, all those things are saying, no, it's not. This is what's successful. Why don't you make more of this? This is what people want to see. This is what gets them to the theaters. Ryan Gosling said it himself. The problem isn't the movie theaters. The problem is they haven't been making movies that people want to go see. I mean, he said it himself, and I'm sure he's gotten phone calls about it. I don't think he's the type that cares that much, though. but you're being manipulated. So they place this race swap of this key character, and now everything takes racially divisive tones. And every time Snape is mistreated or blamed or suspected of anything, it adds whole other connotations to it that will cause people to argue and be divided. It also gives the filmmakers a sort of a plot armor, if you will, against any kind of criticism. Because now, if you criticize the series on its merits, any way, shape, or form, the same way when I did my review of Sinners and I said the things that I loved about Sinners and the things that I didn't love about Sinners, I got labeled multiple times of, all these nasty things because I dared criticize it from a filmmaking point of view. Forget the fact that I've been a working professional filmmaker for over 20 years, that I taught film at high school and collegiate levels, that I have done all these things. Forget that. I couldn't make a good criticism because it was shielded in armor. And that's what they have done with this new Harry Potter series. They've shielded it. And they know that they're going to change other things. John Lithgow said there's going to be things that you didn't see in the other movies or that weren't in the books that are going to be reimagined into this story. That means that's red flags all over the places. That means anything could be there anywhere. And it's all a manipulation. And they're going to see this stuff is going to work less and less. That is symbolic by the thumbs up and the thumbs down, the likes and dislikes on this. It's showing by the success of Hail Mary and Mario. It's all showing, but they still keep trying to manipulate you. And they have it set up now where if you dare criticize this, then they can come after you, label you, insult you, cancel you, and you are being manipulated. They are destroying our heroes. They are destroying our stories, and they are doing it for specific reasons, even when it loses money. You have to say, why do they keep doing this if it loses money? We're going to get into some of that. I got another video coming up real soon on why Hollywood is destroying our heroes and why that is so much different than the heroes that we built up back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s in those movies, and why people keep going back to those movies. Even in the early 2000s with the original Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, heroes that you could believe in. Heroes weren't always perfect, but they tried. They tried to overcome the bad guy. They tried to overcome evil. They tried to aspire to something greater than themselves, and they tried to inspire that within you. And they have wanted to get rid of that and replace it with cynicism, division, manipulation, and we're going to get more into that. But this Harry Potter is, and I'm a massive Harry Potter fan, massive fan. We go to Universal Studios all the time. We've watched these. I love Harry Potter, and it is just sad that you're doing this and you're trying to manipulate people while deconstructing, changing, and making it a story that was universally loved, and trying to make it divisive. And I don't dig it. And we'll get into it more, but I just had to say my piece on it. I don't normally do videos like this, but it is getting harder now when you see the contrast between what people want and what succeeds and the stories that people still love. People have told you what they love. It's getting harder to not say anything when Hollywood refuses to do it and they take the other side of it, even at the loss of money. You have to look beyond and see what's really going on there. So as a filmmaker and someone who loves movies, I just can't always set it out, and this is one of those times. But that's what I got for you this time. And if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. That always helps out the channel. My Patreon link is below. If you want to do a little bit more, you get your name on every video, and we can talk about a lot more things over there. But until next time, be kind, rewind like always. It's Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. I know.